disassociating ourselves with the Shekri ethnic nationality from the call for the removal of the group CEO of NNPC, Engineer Bayo Ojulari. Like we said, Ishekiri ethnic nationality today produce well over 33% of Nigeria's total oil revenue, and we deserve more. We are like the hen that laid the golden egg, and we should be treated goldenly too. I have here, this is map of oil wells, oil feed and flow stations in our locality, the 3 Warri local government area. And it will interest you to know that what we have in our area, we have well over 70 oil fields cut across the 3 Warri local government area in our domain that produce various quantum of oil and gas. This excluding the Betuba well is not even among. Ikpuri well is not even among. So what we are saying here is calling on NNPC at least to look the direction of those that are producing to the nation. A situation whereby when you go to Warri today, there is nothing to write home in our area. So we are asking the NNPC, including the federal government, to visit the Shekiris communities, visit Warri, visit Omadino, and see for yourself that this area needs attention. Who say Warri and the entire Ishekiri community cannot have a gas turbine? Warri need to be light up. Warri need to be light up. We appeal that NNPC under their JVC laws to partner with Shell and Chevron in installing, building a gas turbine in our area, Warri, to light up the place. We also appeal to NNPC to fast-track the repair of the Warri and Port Harcourt refinery. By doing so, certainly it will clash down the prices of fuel, and Nigeria will enjoy at the end of the day. Finally, we also appeal to other stakeholders within the Niger Delta region to give peace a chance, to at least let us be patient with the federal government. We understand that in any reform, there is always pain, but we know that this pain is temporary. We understand that Shiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we understand that at the long run, Nigeria will gain in its renewed hope agenda. We urge co-Niger Deltans to support him, to be patient with him, because at the end of the day, we will be the beneficiary. These are some of the things we are appealing to the GMD and the federal government to do. The others, my brothers, will come with it.
I'm from Warri Kingdom. I'm from Omadino. I want to dwell on the real issue, who is who in terms of oil producing in Delta State, Nigeria at large. Omadino community is the only community that have boundary jurisdiction across the 3 Warri local government, and also we have boundary with the Okbe people. I won't say that we are the only community that is hosting several oil communities, oil companies, the likes of former Shell, now NPDC, Chevron Nigeria Limited with Makaraba and Tunana flow station. We have NPDC now with Jones Creek, the largest flow station in West Africa. We have Egwa 1, Egwa 2. We have the Kuri field yet to produce. We have the Konoye field. We have Rapide field. We also have major Focado's trunk line, which transit from Warri Escravos to Focados. We have the Ovade Amukbe trunk line, which transit from Ovade Amukbe to Escravos. These are major crude oil trunk lines that carry crude oil. Like my colleagues earlier said, the Chakiri community produced 33-something% of the oil and gas in Nigeria. Also in Delta State, the Chakiri community, the Chakiri nation, the Chakiri kingdom, Warri kingdom, produce the highest oil, but only to be pursued with vigor. Now, the issue is that you cannot own land in proximity. It must be in historical facts, must be in legal pronouncement of court of competent jurisdiction. Let me take you to, before now we have issue of land ownership, which we have legal document up to Supreme Court in suit number W29, 1949, Adrumokumo of Ubakokoje, which is an Ijaw community, versus EEC law of Omadino, we won up to Supreme Court in that area. The other one, suit number W30, 1962, James Uluba, which is Okehu and Ijaw community, versus EEC law of Omadino community. We won up to Supreme Court, and it's reported in Nigeria Weekly Law Report. The archives, the result is there. Also, we have the other one in Egwa area, suit number CAB/230/2010. This is recently, which involves some of the persons that are claiming ownership of land. We won up to Supreme Court. The case was referred back to Appeal Court for amount of evidence from our Ijaw brothers from the creek. Now, the issue is that if we have the highest producing community in Nigeria, if we have the oil producing ethnic nationality in Delta State, so who are supposed to be people that are agitating for development? We, of course. Now, if you come to Warri, come to the oil communities, nothing to show for it. But however, we are supporting the GMD for its reform. Because we know after the reform, all the record is in archives of NNPC. The acquisition data, everything, they know all. But because some persons, they think they have the monopoly of violence, whenever they threaten the government fall for them. Is it fair? And we respect the government of Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCON, to look inward to the rule of law. We must respect the rule of law, not the rule of violence, because nobody has the monopoly of violence. We are appealing to the federal government. We are in support of the GMD for the reform, and we know that at the end of the day, everybody, including the Chekiri, all tribes in Niger Delta, will smile. But we are still appealing that whatever you are doing in terms of empowerment, in terms of contract, take into cognizance whatever you produce shall be determined in whatever you benefit, because your input should be able to determine your output. Thank you. God bless you.
Of the press, I am Prince Benjamin Akore, Secretary General of Madino Community Management Committee. I'm here to add to what my chief priest have just said. If you go to the archive, which I have before me here, you will see that the NNPC granted the license number 304 Act in 1965. In this act, which took effect in September 1st, 1977, if you see this, what I'm holding here, it's in the archive of NNPC. Omadino community has the highest land given to the IOCs, which takes about 71.6 hectares. If you look at what I'm holding, you will see that communities are sectionalized. you have the Jaw communities, you have the Ishekiri communities. In all of this, Omadino community have the highest when put together. It is based on this, which is in the archive of NNPC, that the SPDC now came up with the acquisition data. They came up with an acquisition data which shows also volume. We are not here to deceive the public, but to set the record straight. In what I'm holding here, SPDC would not transform most of the oil blocks or well to the OMLs. They have it here as contained. The communities that they acquire wells and oil blocks from. If you go to Jones Creek, you will see there's no contention of whatsoever with Omadino community. Also Egwa 1 and Egwa 2. The only way we can have peace and coexist as human beings is when records are looked into and then the law is applied to it. Nobody is an highland or monopoly of violence whereby they start intimidating the federal government. That is why we have come to set the record straight, and we support the position of the GMD in trying to set the record straight. Thank you very much.
To what my brothers have said, nothing but the truth. We have come here again, just like we said yesterday, because of the incessant blackmails against players occupying positions within the oil and gas industry, the NNPC, NCDMB, any other position in the Niger Delta that is occupied by Niger Deltans other than Ijaw are always suffering blackmail. Our kinsmen, Engineer Toyo Omashuli, was former EDP of NDDC. Our kinsman, Temisa Omasheye, was former DG Nimasa. Our kinsman, Orishemeyiwa Yesan, she was executive director upstream, NNPC, suffer blackmail, and now even our current kinsman, who is the executive secretary of the NCDMB, Engineer Felix Ogbe, suffered blackmail. So it has been a pattern of blackmail against Niger Deltans that are not Ijaws, that are occupying the oil, any position within the oil and gas industry. And now, Engineer Bayo Ojulari is suffering blackmail from a section of the Niger Delta every time. It has become a pattern. So this press conference has become necessary to call on our Ijaw brothers to take it easy and wait for the reform, to support the reform ongoing at the NNPCL. Because when their brothers were there, nobody sponsored blackmail or protest against their brothers. Engineer Bayo Ojulari is our brother. We are Shekiris. Engineer Bayo Ojulari is Yoruba, and we all belong to the Yoruba big family. So we will not sit idly by and watch blackmails hurled at him from the Niger Delta, where the Ishekiris are a major stakeholder. Bear in mind, the Ishekiri ethnic nationality wholeheartedly supports President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his renewed hope agenda, and by extension, the reforms within the NNPCL, an advocacy we have been carrying out for some years, from resource control to today. So it is high time the Shekiris, who are major stakeholders in the oil and gas industry, are carried along in terms of pipeline surveillance contract. As we speak, we have recommended an Ishekiri contractor, competent Ishekiri contractor, to the NNPC and the federal government to be given the pipeline surveillance contract within the Ishekiri, as my brothers have said, within the Ishekiri areas from Delta State up to Edo State. Because we produce the highest quantum of crude oil and gas in our land. So this reform that is going to support the decentralization of the pipeline surveillance contract, according to the areas where you produce the resources, it is welcomed by Ishekiri Nation, by every Ishekiri person in Nigeria. So we have come to tell Engineer Bayo Ojulari to continue with his reform. Ishekiri Nation support him to continue with his reform, in serving the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his renewed agenda. And by God's grace, come 2027, we all sitting here and the entire Shekiri nation will support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come back and continue the reform so that Nigeria will know peace, progress, and unity.